the biggest opportunities and money in my life didn't come from getting jobs, it come from quitting them. Welcome back to another episode of this crazy Ukrainian refugee living her best life show here on YouTube. And today we will talk about quitting jobs. If you're unhappy with your current job, if you feel it's too small for you, listen to this. I will share my quitting stories and how every time I left, I get something better. I grew up very poor. My first work was when I was 16 years old. I was entertaining kids in a huge mascot under hot sun, making $3 per hour. And honestly, I hated this job. But more honestly, I was scared to quit because I thought no one would hire me as a 16 years old girl with no experience. And also because of the financial situation in my family, I was really needed this $3 per hour. After 2 months, I said, enough. I can't stand it anymore. I'm done. I will find another job. I don't know how, but I will. So I quit, and guess what? I found better job right away. I was a host on a kids event, making 5 times more money, and here's was my lesson. Quitting can change everything. 17 years old, I went full freelance. I worked in Turkey, Dubai, Germany, France, traveling, meeting new people, have fun, and none of that would have happened if I stayed at my first job. But let's make it clear, quitting is never easy. And when I moved to US, I felt this fear again. As an immigrant, you don't have help. If you don't have job, you don't have money, you don't pay rent, you don't buy food, it's kind of scary. My first job in New York was the same, kids shows, but it paid so little, I was barely survived in Brooklyn. I was 20. I had no financial support. I was scared to quit. But deep down, I understood this work will never give me the life I want. So I quit. It was really scary. It was the most, well, not the most, but it was really scary. It was really hard. I had no money for months. I had depression and anxiety because of that. But guess what happened in 4 weeks? I got a dream job. So I started work as a scriptwriter for one of the biggest YouTube channels in the world. Wow. This how I fell in love with YouTube. It was biggest money in my life, and honestly, work was amazing until I realized that I don't have time for my own success. I was at the office 12 hours a day, 6 days a week with no time for my personal growth. So I quit. It was really hard because of the money. It was really hard. But I quit. For that point, I had no fear to quit the jobs. And guess what? I found the same position but work from home. Oh my god, this happened because I knew exactly what I wanted. So it was more freedom, more money. And here's my second lesson, if your job doesn't fit you, quit. You will find wherever you want. Seriously. So here's what I learned, quitting is always scary. Always. Every time I had these thoughts like, oh my god, what if I fail? What if I ended up with nothing? But every single time, I ended up with more happiness, more money, and more opportunity. This is why now I believe that quitting is even more important than getting hired, because quitting is what takes you to a next level. So if you're thinking about quitting your job, maybe it's a sign. See you in the next episode of this crazy Ukrainian refugee living her best life show here in YouTube.